Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, Instagram and TikTok at Movies TV Mad 555. Good news, everyone. Right this minute, I've got an email that my brand new Lenovo ThinkPad laptop is on its way. It could take a week, it could take a couple of days, who knows, but at least we're getting there, and very soon, hopefully, we'll be back to those live streams. But Empire right now have done a beautiful spread about Peacemaker, and we're going to read it. So let's do this. Apologies that it's a bit dark, it's night time now, so my lighting's a bit crap. I do apologise, but you can still see my beautiful face in this beautiful top, and you'll be able to hear me just fine. Right, Peacemaker, first look at John Cena in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad spin-off series, world exclusive, by Ben Travis. There's long been a question around storytelling. Is it possible to tell an engrossing story where your central character is inherently unlikable, or at least not a good person? It's a tricky balance, but television has long proved an ideal place to tell such tales. Just look at Breaking Bad or The Sopranos. When it comes to Peacemaker, John Cena's character in James Gunn's upcoming The Suicide Squad, who's also getting his own 8-episode series on HBO Max, penned in its entirety by Gunn himself. The filmmaker doesn't mince his words about how not good guy he is. Peacemaker's a piece of shit, he says. He's not a good guy, and he wears the goofiest costume you've ever seen in your life. Maybe that's why the Peacemaker series is the ideal place to explore such a bad dude. Delving deep into the character across multiple hours of story, Peacemaker has a clear set of ideals that I find really interesting, says Gunn, who has directed 5 episodes of the series himself. You know, I want peace no matter how many men, women and children I need to kill to get it. Sounds like nonsense, but it also makes a lot of sense. And you see John's performance, how he does not feel good about it, something I thought was the seed of an entire 8-episode show. As well as being a character study which takes place in the wider DCEU, interesting, he said that before, takes place in the wider DCEU. Now this is going to be interesting because we're not going to see this till next year, but we will see this before Flashpoint, which means the multiverse strategy wouldn't have begun, the DC live action universe wouldn't have rebooted, and everything's not canon. So I'm assuming, I think it comes early. Does it come early 2022? Maybe just after the Batman, so very, very interesting. He lives in the world of Superman, Batman and Aquaman, and that is not an easy thing for him to contend with. The show will also involve a big science fiction story. Wow! So this is in the DCEU. Of course it's in the DCEU. His Suicide Squad movies in the DCEU as well. So this is very exciting. We may see some cameos. The show will also involve a big science fiction story and delve into some real world issues. He represents a part of the world populace that is problematic, to say the least, says Gunn, and puts him in a situation where he has to face the choices he's made throughout his life and the extremity of his views. So the threat is a science fiction threat. That's interesting for a character that's so gritty. In fact, even the guy behind the metal mask doesn't have the kindest words to say about his character. This guy is a loud, obnoxious, bro-eyed douchebag, Cena tells Empire. That sucks. But why? At what point did he become such a douchebag? And what does that mean? There's a lot to dive into there. Prepare for the deep dive into that douchebaggery in 2022. And in the meantime, we'll get acquainted with him in the Suicide Squad this summer. So that's the article. It is very interesting. Is it a prequel? Well, we're not being told if this is a prequel or not, but I think we're getting something quite interesting here. Maybe this series is set during the events of maybe like Batman versus Superman, Man of Steel. It might span from Man of Steel to right to the end of the Aquaman film. You know, James Gunn mentions Aquaman, Superman and Batman. It wouldn't surprise me if he while he's doing what he's doing, we may see news events of Man of Steel, the Battle of Metropolis, Batman versus Superman, with Doomsday and everything that happened there, and Aquaman and everything that happened there. I think this is what they may do, because he's talking about the wider DCEU as well. So I think this is a really good idea. Yeah, it does look like a prequel to me, but what do you think about this? Are you excited for James Gunn's The Peacemaker series, a show he decided to make while he was bored during COVID and being in isolation? Look, it's great to have Gunn involved in the DCEU, and I can't wait to see the full Suicide Squad movie and to see this spin-off next year. I'm very, very excited. Are you excited? Comment down below. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back with the next video. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. Tap the little notification bell so you never miss this perfection, and I'll be back later on. Till then, goodbye.